welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about Staraptor. If you are new here, first of all, welcome and thank you for clicking. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. If this is your first impression of this ROM hack, don't be fooled. The buffs are extremely elaborate, and elaborate to the point where it's something you've never really seen before, most likely. But this just happens to be a Pokemon that is kind of boring. And I like Staraptor. It's a cool design. It's probably like in the upper half of regional birds. I said legendary by accident. Regional birds. It's one of the cooler ones for sure. But like in terms of what buffs I can give it, sadly in this ROM hack, that came off wrong. In this ROM hack, I put a lot of effort and thought into how to balance Pokemon so that they don't overlap with one another. Meaning Pokemon, especially of the same type, don't share abilities or share specific roles or things that they can do. I try to keep them all unique from one another. And because of that, I can't make Staraptor fighting flying because there is another normal flying type that is now fighting flying that fits much more, besides Farfetch'd, who's already uploaded, and those changes are public, and also that's like a pretty common change in ROM hacks anyways. But there's three of them. There's Hawlucha, Farfetch'd, and then one more, and Staraptor is not the third one. Sadly, it would be pretty cool. It's great dual stab, but it just doesn't work out that way because the other one fits it a lot better. And then if I made both of them fighting flying, their abilities would overlap pretty badly, and it just doesn't work out very nicely. Between the abilities between like Hawlucha and then the third one would overlap a lot. It's just not realistic. I can't really give it any decent abilities that would work for it without it just being a worse version of the other one. In this case, though, these are two super fucking great abilities, and it just has really solid stat buffs. It's just kind of a boring buff as a whole, because it's very straightforward, and some people might like that. Some people might be like, oh wow, finally Dues doesn't completely rework something. It just does what it does. But in this ROM hack, that's kind of out of the ordinary. Usually things are changed pretty extensively. But in this case, it's just got Scrappy and Reckless. It keeps Reckless. It has plenty of new coverage moves and stronger recoil moves, however, though. So if you click this little link, you can see that Staraptor, in addition to these moves, by the way, Staraptor also gets Dive Bomb, because Dive Bomb, this is a headstrong list. I just put it here for sake of whatever. But in reality, I could actually probably link this to the actual recoil move section. Yeah, I'll do that after the video because I have an actual recoil move section on the move sheet. By the way, my disclaimer was supposed to be, if you are new here, by the way, to check this out in the description down below, because every move in this hack is buffed or changed in some regard super extensively. So there's this very useful little guide here that you can browse with Control+F, or just look at the categories and stuff, and you can check everything this way. That being said, though, Scrappy is really great. Keep in mind in this ROM hack, you do have access to infinite usability capsules. So you can take advantage of Scrappy when you need it, whenever there's a ghost type up ahead, and you can hit a lot of ghost types super effectively, or you can just save a coverage slot without having to run knockoff or health thrust to hit those ghost types. You can just spam your normal stab and your fighting coverage, which is really nice. You also have plenty of utility stuff like Battle Cry, Roost, Parting Shot, Taunt, and all kinds of other stuff. So you can easily teach that whenever you need it to support your team. Keep in mind, this is a ROM hack where strategy is encouraged, and you are supposed to be switching between abilities and moves and that kind of stuff whenever you need it. The pre-evolutions have Bird's Eye View, which is a new ability that's essentially just clear body. It prevents you from having any stats dropped. It's just a nice little early game ability, especially with all of the stat dropping moves in the mid-20s. Most Pokemon get stat dropping moves, so it's nice to be immune to that. And then of course Staraptor gets Reckless, and the reason the pre-evolutions don't have Reckless is because it's useless on them, because you don't have any recoil moves at that point in the game anyway. Staraptor, Reckless. You got Stab, Brave Bird, which becomes 150 base power with Reckless now, because those are buffed. Same with Double Edge, so you have dual stab, 150 base power moves. The recoil is also decreased to 25% for those moves, and they also have high defense drop rates and other good effects. So that's really, really great for Staraptor. And they can also take advantage of, if you see here, a buffed Shell Bell. Shell Bell now heals you by 20% of your HP, so therefore, 20% of the damage you deal, rather. So you can slap a Shell Bell on your Staraptor, and you're only taking 5% recoil with Double Edge and Brave Bird, and the moves like Takedown, Play Rough. Takedown and Play Rough actually are your only 20% recoil moves. Those moves actually deal even less recoil, only 20%. So with Takedown and Play Rough with a Shell Bell, you're actually taking 0% recoil. Obviously, you might want a boosting item or some other item instead, but it's still nice to have that as an option to not take recoil damage. So yeah, Play Rough and Takedown are great coverage moves. Those are both 110 base power. And then of course you have Double Legend Brave Bird, and then at level 60 you get Dive Bomb, which is very powerful. That is essentially flying type high jump kick, so that's really strong. Keep in mind there's a 10% chance to miss though, and that can fuck you over really bad, so you might want to run like a wide lens, which is buffed to 15% boost, so you won't miss 90% accurate moves with wide lens guaranteed, which is nice. Otherwise, you have Submission, which is just a stronger version of Takedown. It's 150 base power, -1. It's basically like Close Combat and Takedown had a baby, in that they are even stronger. However, that does still deal recoil and it lowers your defenses, but it's a very fucking strong move, so definitely worth teaching. So that's really all you need. I mean, you just need normal flying, fighting, and then, you know, you can swap between everything else, and you don't need fighting for all boss fights. You don't even need more than one stab move for some boss fights. You can just run the one stab move and run full utility with stuff like U-turn and parting shot and stuff, you know. You also have set up with something like Swords Dance and Bulk Up, which is nice. You can use like Bulk Up Roost or whatever you want to do. It's just a solid mon. It's just a strong, fast, offensive Pokemon. It actually has some pretty solid bulk. It did have to lose Intimidate, sadly, because another one of the normal flying types has Intimidate, and it fits the other one much better. And it's a Pokemon that needs it way more because it's a lot slower than Staraptor is, so it kind of needs that extra bulk from Intimidate. And also, it's just a way fucking cooler Pokemon in my opinion, and it's a Pokemon that needed some damn love. Staraptor has already obviously been good in game for years. It's one of the better in game Pokemon, so I don't really need to buff it too much. Just let it keep up with the power creep, give it a little bit of extra bulk so it can take some hits a little bit better, and then that 110 speed here is super nice, and then all of these new powerful moves is really great as well. Other great stuff for utility, stuff like Whirlwind, the Mirror move giving you attack, Whirlwind is priority, 3 PP, you know, you got all kinds of little stuff here, Feather Dance, you know, really you can take advantage of all this stuff. And then you have pretty solid coverage as well, not only with the Fairy and Fighting, but also with the Dark, with the Bug, Steel, you know, you've got really all you need. It's nothing too crazy. It's just a great Pokemon. Kind of boring. I would not want to use one in my playthrough. I would get upset if it was my first encounter because there's so much cooler stuff. But, you know, not every Pokemon could be fucking super cool. It's Staraptor. I don't know what to tell you. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you are new here, please check out my other videos and check out the Google Sheet in the description down below, because this is not the greatest first impression of my hack. There's a lot of really cool shit in here, so definitely give that a look. And thank you so much for listening. And I'll be back for more for some coolers in a Pokemon coming up. Thanks so much for listening, and goodbye.